Okay, it's time for today's CSS battle. Let's see what we've got. Okay. Right. Let's start with a nested template. Let's make that background this color. And let's make the background of that this color. And then let's bring in some margins. So let's use diff. Let's do the margins on here. So 70, 82, 70, 60, 50, 2. Okay. And then we will give this a clip path of polygon 0, 50%. And how far is this? That's 60. That's 140. So 80. 8 pixel 0. Then this is 260. 140, so 120 onto that, so 200 pixels. 0. 100%. 50%. 200 pixels. 100%. 80 pixels, 100%. That should give us that sort of shape. Then if we have an element, height 100%, background white, clip path of none, margin 0, 20, 40, now that should be 80. That'll give us some white in the middle. Then actually this clip path isn't going to be none, it's going to be a polygon. Zero, 50%, and 135 from 90, so 45. 0, 0, 50%, 45 pixels, 100%, 0, 100%, 100%. 45, what height do we think this is? Let's have a look at the height. 90 to 10. So 110, 110, 75, 60, 65, 65, 65. So 50%, 65 pixels. 0, 100%. Sure. Okay, we're out by a little bit. What happens if we make that 55? 75. 75 looks good. That should. So minify, unit replace, and we'll take out the last 3. That does indeed work. So let's just check. 60, 140, so 80. 80, 120, and 80. 80, 120, and 80. Would be 280. Could probably do it as percentages. Don't think it'd be very accurate though. Okay. So let's just get this back down to just that. And then there's got to be a better way of doing that as well. Could use 2 conic gradients rather than a clip path. Probably could do this all with some conic gradients, so let's take that out, and then let's actually set this to white. Then let's do a conic gradient at 0, 50%. Actually, just at 0 should do. Then we do brown for 45 degrees, purple for 135 degrees, then brown again, so add a 0 in there, and a should get us, okay, 45 degrees isn't right. How about 55? How about 50? How far out is 50? 51, 52, 53. Right. 53 off of 180 would be 47. 27. Okay. Then we'd shift that by none at all and make it only 80 pixels wide, and we do repeat on Y. Where's that get us? Okay, that's not too bad. Although, with the number of these that we're going to end up doing, it's probably not good either. Put another conic gradient in, this time at 100%, and minus 53 degrees, minus 127 degrees. Minus 80 pixels. Why is that not working? How about if we make that 160 pixels? No. Okay, 280 pixels. That should all be flipped and going the other way around the circle. If I remove that, I get the brown. But I don't get any of the white. Interesting. How about if I do at 0 again, but this time move it 200 pixels and repeat only on Y. To 80 pixels, make it only 80 pixels wide. Why does that second conic gradient not do what I expect it to? Let's take that one out. Conic gradient. How about if I do at 80 pixels and then just move it 200 pixels? Let's paste that one back in. Okay. Let's do CCW instead. Ew. Let's just go from 180. Okay, whatever. That gets us both of those. Then all we would need is a purple triangle and a purple triangle, which we could also do with conic gradients. Conic gradient at so what 280, so 140, and 135, 90, so 45 pixels. From 270 degrees, 90, 180, 270, about 305. And then we will go purple for maybe 90 degrees, and then transparent for the rest. $120, about 100, about 110. $304, 305, 306, 307. 103, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6. 46 pixels. 40. Okay. Well, that one seems to work. And then we do the same, but rather than at 45, what is the other? Let's try 65, and from minus 180 from that. 1, 2, 60. Let's try 75. Okay, that looks good. Hit submit. I'm fairly sure this will be more characters even when I've minimized it and everything else, but we'll go minimize, unit replace. Yeah, that's far more. Now, how about if we do 3 elements? So technically I can probably shorten this. But no, let's start with the base template. Let's change this background to that. Let's do it with some elements. 1, 2, 3. We're just going to comment out those two for now. We want the square in the middle first, so P height 120, width 120, and then background the purple, and margin 60, no, 90, and 140, give or take. About 130. 2. Right. That gets us a square in the middle, which will be for background only. Now, the height isn't going to change, but the width probably will for the next bit. So we want a minus 210 in there. And then we want the second P. Just going to make this red for a temporary second. We're going to make margin left. Now what did we have it? 132, so let's make it 92. About 62, 22, 32, 42, 52. Hang on. Okay, 52 looks good. But the width of this is nowhere near right, so width 180. It's going to be too much. 160, 150 maybe. 150 might be about right. Let's see, the 150 or 160. If we just do that as a linear gradient that goes purple 50% and then white for the rest, then we should be able to see what's going on. I think that looks fairly damn close. Then we give this a clip path of a polygon, and we go 0, 50%, 50%, 0, 100%, 50%, that actually should probably do what I want it to. Oh no. That'd be then 50%, 100%, and we also do this at 90 degrees. Okay, that's looking fairly close. Then we put in the third P, And the only things that we should have to set on this is margin left to be, what, 252 maybe? Oh, shorter than that. 202, shorter than that. 172 maybe? 172 would be about right, I think. And scale of -1 should get us the right shapes. Yep. Now we can get rid of some of that. Minify, unit replace. Well, it is 100%. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay. Is there any way I could have made that shorter? No, that's going to be needed. That's going to be needed. That just lifts everything else back up into place. That will let me get rid of that space, and that space, and that space. But that's still longer than the first solution. So, the first solution was here. So what do we do? We clip past. That was, yeah, the outside. And then we clip past. This would have been the inside. We can make this a tiny bit shorter by just crunching some bits there. If we also take that from there, we can then put that there, put the semicolon there, do that. Hash FFF is slightly shorter than white. We should be able to take that bracket off. I'm not sure if you can take that bracket off. No, you can't. Browser parsing being weird, but whatever. Do I actually need that? Yes, I do. Don't think that 80 pixels is that's still only as long as 100%, so that hasn't saved me anything at all, and 100% was more readable. Okay. It's not a bad score. I can't see an obvious, easy way of making it any better. I don't think cutting it in half and doing reflections will help me here, well, particularly. Certainly the middle white bit, that's not going to help at all. The top you'd save a couple of points, but once you added in the margin and the messing about, yeah, it's not worth it. Okay, that's where we're going to leave it for today. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.